What are you talking about? That's not this one. That's later. Okay, I think I have everything up now. You're fine. So the first thing I'm going to start with is I have different sites from a session I went to in Columbus. I haven't used any of them in my classroom yet because I haven't had much time to do that. But I know you'll have time today to kind of play around and see how you can use it. I did print this out for everyone. Well, yeah, I have enough. I'm giving you the PowerPoint that's up here. You print it off if you want to keep it for your resources. It took me a minute to find it on the website. Sure. So quizzes is something that's similar to kind of Kahoot. It does quizzes in the classroom as well. So we're going to learn a little bit about it. Okay, here it is. So it's a fun game to conduct quick assessments with your class, kind of like Kahoot was, and you guys just saw how Kahoot works. To play a quiz, if this just explains how you do this, you can add your class on there, and it'll show you results as you go on. It does give you real-time feedback, so you get it immediately. You can also assign it as homework if you want to have them do something at home, which I believe Mr. Poole said you can do with Kahoot as well. You can also save the data that you get. You can download it as an Excel spreadsheet. So that's kind of cool. And then this just goes on to explain to you how to create a quiz. So later on, when we get time at the end, if you want to create a quiz, I know in first grade, we've lost all of our clicker quizzes. So this might be something that we could do instead, and we could create them and use them. And then we don't have to share clickers. And this just goes on to explain more about creating it. I believe you can also, I'm just going to let you guys look through that, and I'll show you the website. So I already signed up. It is free to sign up for, and it's the quizizz.com, and I signed up the other day and just using my Google account. And you can have quizzes, you can search quizzes, you can also create them your own by yourself. If you go to the public one and say I did first grade math, and you can bring up and look at what they have. So you could use things that they've already created, or you could use things that, you could create your own. So I thought that was kind of cool. Also, you can do it whether you play live or assign it as homework. Another one that they told us about was, and I think part of this too is at the end you can kind of go to the ones you think you like, and just having time to be able to look through it yourself, I think will be. I haven't used it, so I've gone through and played with it a little bit, but I haven't used it with my classroom yet.
Could you do this on your iPad?
You could, yes. Quizlet is a different one. Quizlet is something that it can make sets of flashcards for you. It's not on your paper there, but if you want to write it down, it's Quizlet, and you can upgrade to a paid version, but you can do this to where you don't have to pay for it. It'll create flashcards for you. Um, you can also have Quizlet Live. It breaks the class into teams, kind of like Kahoot does, but it's a little bit different than Kahoot because they, like, if you're in a team, if I have, like, say you five in a team, and you each have an iPad, then you can, it it might give you the right answer only on one of your devices. So Cindy might not have anybody who has any right answers on hers. So that means she needs to know, this isn't right. And she might have to look over, and ask Jessica, do you have the right answer? And so that way, yes. So, and again, I haven't played around with it yet, but I'm going by what the lady told us. And she said she had us try it like in class. But they have different answers on their device, so there may only be one person who has the answer on their device. If it's wrong, then the kids lose all of their points. But it does tell them why they're wrong. So somebody could be winning big time, but then if they miss it, so that again makes them really collaborate and talk about maybe why somebody's answer is right and somebody else's is wrong. I thought that part was cool about Quizlet. And it says you have to invite your students, and you can create a study set. That's like with the vocabulary terms.
Third grade uses Quizlet daily.
Cool.
We went to a vocabulary list and a spelling list.
Okay.
So they have made up Quizlets that the kids can practice at home, their vocabulary list and stuff.
Cool.
Well, they haven't done the games yet that I know of, but they use, because the kids are always asking on Friday mornings, get their iPads out to practice their comprehension or their vocabulary list on Quizlet.
That's cool. So that's Quizlet. Another one is called Formative, and we're gonna watch this. This actually is, if you put this on, it's goformative.com. That's the new version that the lady told us technically isn't out yet. But right now it's free to use. On this one, it's kind of cool because you can select the answer where you can actually draw the answer out, which I know for math would be good because they have to show their work and they can draw it, and where a lot of the other ones don't let you do that. It's all like multiple choice. Let's watch this here.
So let's go ahead and create a new assignment. From the build page, we can go ahead and add questions for our students to respond to. We can add content our students can reference. And we can also upload documents and add questions and content on top of them. So let's go ahead and say that your students, you want your students to reflect on what they learned last class. So we can go ahead and click on Upload and Transform and drag in a document. And then as soon as that document loads, we can go ahead and give it a title. Reflect on last class. And so once we're done there, we notice this document has 2 questions. And so we're asking them to reflect on what they learned. So we can go ahead and create a short answer question. And so they can type in their response. And we're also asking them to draw what they learned. So we can go ahead and add a show your work question. And then just like that, our assignment is ready to go. We can go ahead and click on Preview to just take a look at what it's going to look like on the student's end. And we can actually type in sample responses as well. And so with just that, we can go ahead and assign this to some students. And so if our students hadn't created accounts just yet, we could give them this quick code or this link and they could jump right in. But let's say that your students have joined formative and their formative classes. So we can go ahead and enable this assignment just for your classes. benefit here is that your students can access it right from their dashboard, and they can also get their scores back. So let's go ahead and enable it for your first period class, and we're going to go ahead and make it open, which means that students can respond to the assignment, but they can't see their scores just yet. So just like that, we've assigned it to our first period class. And let's say the responses are just starting to come in. We can head over to the live results page to check them out. And we can see Padme starting to enter what she learned about Alderaan. And we're going to go ahead and pretend to be another student. Let's go ahead and pretend to be Luke Skywalker. So from the student dashboard, we can go ahead and click into the assignment, and we can start to answer it. So I learned about the Force. And we can see that response show up instantly on the teacher end. And now on the teacher end, as soon as responses show up, we can go ahead and give instant feedback. So I'm going to say, what are the ways of the Force? Okay, and as soon as I send that piece of feedback, the student's going to receive it. And so Luke sees that there. And I can also choose to grade his response as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. And then I can also zoom in to see a closer look at that same response. And then I can actually switch up the view and take a look at the summary view, which shows me by color how students are doing. So green means completely correct, and then these gray boxes represent ungraded responses. Now if you go back to the single question view, we can also choose to hide names as well. Now lastly, let's go ahead and make this assignment close with scoring. This means that when students return to the assignment, they won't be able to respond anymore, but they will be able to see their scores. And if I want to check out question 2 as well here, I can see all the great drawings that students are creating about what they learned. So in less than 5 minutes, we've created a great formative assignment, and we've collected student responses. And if you need any help creating your next formative assignment, let us know. We'd love to help. Thank you.
So that one's kind of cool because you can give instant feedback. Yeah, and the Go formative one, if you do the Go formative first, Go before formative, because there is a website called formative.com, but it's the older version that is released to everyone. And the lady that presented said that the company called to ask her about if they could come watch her present, and she was freaking out because she's like, well, they're like, you don't want us to? And she said, well, I've kind of been sharing the new one that's not been released with everyone. They said, well, we know, because, you know, when you're in Denver, Colorado, and there's 500 people that signed up for the new one, we know what's going on. So they said that was good, though, because they can get feedback. She said she doesn't know if eventually they're going to they don't know how they're going to do it eventually, if they're going to start charging for it or not, but right now it's free. So, let's do I don't know if any of you have done this before, but this one's kind of just a fun one you might want just as a break. If you want to go to Quick Draw, and it's through Google, so if you just Google Quick Draw, and then you click on it, this will come up. And this is just a fun activity you can do with your kids. So you click Let's Draw, and you have to draw a cup, and they will guess what the cup is. And she's saying it, but she's not, I don't hear it talking, but it said, I see mushroom. So I guess I don't know how to draw a cup. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, peas. Because when I was doing it at home, it tells you everything, but she talks out loud normally. I know it's peas. So it's just a little game that they can do, like kind of as a little break, or might work on vocabulary for some people. But
You put in what they want, what you want to draw.
I don't think so. It just comes up by itself. So it would be kind of cool, like for if you could do that part. But it was just a fun one she shared with us. So might be a good little brain break activity for them. And I believe you could get to it on like iPads as well. What?
Quit rolling out.
It is. Well, Kahoot is the other one that we were going to talk about, and he kind of explained it this morning. With Kahoot, you can also find Kahoots, and you can also create your own. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. So, again, you could Google, fourth grade fractions. See if there's some out there, and then so it has one that you could do that's already created for you if you liked it. And it's the same way that it was there. People, you can do team versus team, or you can do player versus player. There's different ways to create them. And so you can either create your own Kahoot, or you could actually use one that they already have. So, and it's the same thing. When you hit it, it says ready to join, and then it gives them the pin to put in. So that's pretty much, it's pretty much that easy if you find one that you want, and it gives you the feedback. You saw Mr. Poole use it, so. I think those were all the ones that I wanted to share with you. If you have questions over any of them, I can try to answer them. I haven't used them a lot, but I figured giving you time to kind of look through them and seeing, maybe finding you sign up for them and then finding maybe some Kahoots that are already created, or taking a minute to maybe create some that you might want to use in your own classroom. So